On Monday afternoon, Hockey Canada released their camp roster for the upcoming 2023 World Junior Championship, and 5 members of the Chicago Blackhawks prospect pool received invites. What's up, everyone? This is Jack Bushman from Locked On Blackhawks here. A little bit of a prospect update this morning as forwards Colton Dach Ryan Greene, along with defensemen Nolan Allan, Ethan Del Mastro, and Kevin Korchinski, are slated to pack their bags next week to head up to Canada in preparation for the 2023 World Junior Championship. I do first, though, want to make sure to note that this is not Canada's final roster for the World Juniors, just the preliminary roster. So all 5 of these players might not wind up representing their country later this month, but let's hope for the best and let's see what happens here in the next couple of weeks. By the way, it is definitely nice to have this tournament come back at the normal time of year once again after, of course, the tournament was canceled last year due to COVID-19. They had to hold it in the summertime. It felt really odd watching the World Juniors in August. So I'm definitely excited that it's going back to the normal time slot this year. Christmas time, always super fun to sit around and watch World Juniors during the holidays. But getting into these 5 Blackhawks prospects, though, Ethan Del Mastro was the only one of these 5 that was part of Canada's team during the summer when they took home the gold medal. So it seems fairly certain that he's a lock to make the final roster here once again. And so far with Mississauga this season, his second year there as the captain, Del Mastro continues to impress both the Blackhawks and apparently Hockey Canada. He's up to 18 points in 21 games so far, 2 goals and 16 assists. Keeps adding a little bit more offense than I think anyone expected when the Blackhawks first drafted him. He's a rugged, physical, defensive-minded defenseman. I really like what Ethan Del Mastro provides. I thought he looked really sharp in his couple of games of action during the preseason, and I really do have the belief that he could be a solid and sound second-pairing defenseman possibly for the Blackhawks one day down the road. Next, we have 2021 first-round pick Nolan Allan, who was recently traded to the Seattle Thunderbirds from the Prince Albert Raiders, where he was the captain, and now is on a defensive pairing with fellow Hawks first-round pick Kevin Korchinski, who I'll get to here in just a second. But all in all, Allan has tallied 14 points in 22 games split between Seattle and Prince Albert so far this year, 5 goals and 9 assists. He represented Team Canada at the U18 World Juniors back in 2021, so we'll see if he winds up making the final roster. It feels like he's a little bit more of a bubble player, someone who's kind of right there on the cusp of making the team, but I will say there's always the need for those rugged, defensive-minded, responsible defensemen, and that's the name of the game for Nolan Allan, so we'll see what winds up happening there. And then, of course, we still have Kevin Korchinski, the first-round selection, 7th overall pick in the 2022 NHL draft. And if all goes right, Blackhawks fans, this could be an all-Hawks prospects left side of the blue line for Team Canada, even though, to be fair, if Nolan Allan does wind up making it, maybe Canada considers going with the Korchinski-Allan pairing that Seattle has been rolling with recently, where Allan plays on his offside. But regardless, 3 defensemen, the potential to have that alone on Team Canada, it would be incredible. And I think Korchinski has a really good shot to make this roster. He's been remarkable to start the year with the Seattle Thunderbirds, 28 points in his first 20 games. And with what he's able to provide, his unique skill set, being I know he's only 18, but he legitimately is one of the best skaters I've ever seen, maybe even the best, besides that Connor McDavid guy. He's pretty good at that too. But obviously he's offensive-minded, gifted offensively, a really good setup man, racks up assists. He had 67 assists in the WHL last year. With that skill set that he can provide, I feel like, there's going to be a need and a want to have that on the blue line for Team Canada. So I think there's a good chance for Kevin Korchinski to crack this final roster. If I had to rank these 3 defensemen in terms of like a confidence level of making Team Canada's final roster, number 1 would be Ethan Del Mastro. I think he was a staple there last year, and was someone who came along and played well once he got the opportunity. So I think he's going to be on there. I do think Kevin Korchinski is going to be on there as well. He's second. And then third, just behind those two, is Nolan Allan. I think he's really the one that's kind of up in the air right now. So we'll see what happens there, but pretty cool to see 3 Blackhawks defenseman prospects getting invited to Team Canada's camp. And then up front, 2 more Blackhawks prospects I already mentioned were invited as well in 2021 first-round pick Colton Dach and 2022 first-round pick Ryan Greene. And for Dach, I feel for him. It's been a really tough start to the season. I'm sure he's battled with a couple of different concussions in the past few months already. But when he's been healthy, the captain of the Kelowna Rockets has been productive per usual. Dach has 17 points in his first 14 games this season, 9 goals and 8 assists. And whenever I talk about Colton Dach on the show, I always mention that goal-scoring ability, the shot that he has. It's literally the polar opposite of his older brother Kirby, who was always kind of reluctant to shoot the puck, wanted to make the extra pass, a pass-first guy, a setup man. Colton's the exact opposite. It seems like whenever he has the puck on his stick in the offensive zone, he's looking to shoot it. He believes in his ability to score from anywhere. In the prospect development camp, before he suffered a concussion, like a minute into the game, he scored from a wicked angle top shelf past Minnesota Wild goaltender prospect Jesper Wallstedt, who's, known to be one of the better goaltender prospects in the entire NHL right now. So Dach has a really, really impressive shot. I think that's always going to be his best asset and the thing that'll help him the most transition to the next level. And I feel like Team Canada could use that in their bottom 6. It's always nice to have some guys who can score goals. I know on an World Juniors team, the bottom 6 isn't as thin as it is on a normal squad, but I feel like Colton Dach's goal-scoring ability down in the lineup could be an asset to Team Canada in this tournament. And then last for Greene, what a start the freshman is off to in his first 14 games with Boston University. Point-per-game guy right now, 14 points, 6 goals, and 8 assists in his first 14 games with the Terriers. It probably, helped up his stock a little bit, and hey, maybe even what got him this invite to Team Canada's camp, as he's never really represented Canada in any major tournaments in the past. So he's probably the one I think that has the longest shot to make this roster, but been playing some good hockey undoubtedly as of late as the third line center for Boston University, who's really started to turn it on as the season has kind of progressed. So we'll see if Ryan Greene or Colton Dach wind up making it. I think those two are more so in the bubble conversation with Nolan Allan. But regardless, it is pretty cool to see 5 Blackhawks prospects invited to Team Canada's World Junior Camp alone. We know there's not going to be any Blackhawks on the United States roster, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with some of the European countries. And it's going to be, of course, a lot of fun to see these players suit up for their native countries and to gain some incredible experience in this tournament. Let's just hope they all stay healthy. For more coverage on the Blackhawks prospects in the World Juniors, be sure to go and subscribe to the channel. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. Go and help your boy out. And also go and check out Locked On Blackhawks for free wherever you get your podcasts.